All right, boys. We got Ashina with us. He's a Dodgers fan, and the Dodgers they just blew this one. They just threw this one away. They just threw away a 3-1 lead at the very last pitch. The Rays win this one 8-7. I don't know what to say, y'all. Ashton, you go first. What's your thoughts on this?
Right. I mean, on the last play of the game, like my thing is you gotta catch the ball before you even make a tag. You can't tag without the ball, and that's what he did, which eventually cost him. Well, that really didn't cost him. It was a misplay by the center fielder.
Yeah.
Was that Bellinger? I think it was
First of
Bellinger.
all, let me go. This was one of the worst managed games I've ever seen in the World Series. Dave Roberts, you've been to three World Series in the past 4 years. The last two World Series you've lost, and now you come in again and you manage a terrible game. Pedro Baez is on the mound. You see this guy been struggling. This guy's been struggling the entire postseason, and you leave him on the mound. He gives us a 3-run home run in the 7th inning, and you leave him on again for the 8th inning to give up another home run the entire game. Your team scored runs tonight. Your team scored 7 runs in a World Series game, and you guys was unable to close it up. Come on now. Come on. Let's be serious. Kelly Johnson, he's been struggling all postseason. He's really been struggling the past 2 years. And you bring this guy on in the 9th inning when you have guys like Joe Kelly out your bullpen throwing 99 miles per hour. You got guys like Dustin May out your bullpen throwing 99 miles per hour. You bring in Kelly Johnson, who's been struggling the past 2 years. This guy has been struggling. And you bring this guy on the mound, and you watch this guy give up two batters. He put 2 batters on base, and you leave him out there on the mound. My thing with Dave Roberts, this guy, it seems as though he's just trying to buy time. He's not trying to manage the game. He's trying to rush through the game. He's trying, whenever he gets a lead, he just say, all right, let's just get through this inning. Let's just get through this inning. No, you need to manage the games batter by batter, not inning by inning. This is a terrible managing job. Kenley Johnson, oh my God, on the last play, Will Smith, why the hell is your mask still on? Why is your catcher's mask still on? It makes no sense. The guy hit a single. Throw your mask off. Throw it in the stand. Throw it in the other. I don't care where the hell you throw it. Do not have the mask on your head when you know the throw is coming home. That is baseball 101. That makes entirely no sense. Why the hell is your mask on? That's the reason why he missed the ball. His mask down on. He can't even see the ball. He's trying to tag the runner without the down ball. Come on. This is baseball 101. It makes entirely no sense. You guys had the Rosarina dead. This guy fell down in the middle between third base and home base. This guy was dead. Why is your mask on? And Kenley Johnson, you're the pitcher. Yes, you give up a single. Yes, we know the game's going to be tied. Why the hell are you still standing by the mound? Get your ass behind home plate and back up the catcher. This is baseball 101. Why is your ass still on the mound? You know what to do. Back up the catch. Either when the ball is in outfield, if you're the pitcher, you either back up the guy down the catcher if the door is coming home, or you back up the third baseman if the door is going to third. You know the door is coming home. Why the hell are you still standing on the mound? Why are you not backing up the catcher? If you had backing up the catcher, he probably would have saved the down run because he'd have been right there to catch the ball. But no, he is still worrying about, I gave up a single. I give up a single, and he's still standing on the mound. It makes entirely no sense. It was terrible by the players, it was terrible by the managers, and this is the epitome of Dodgers baseball the past 4 years. You guys are just coming to the World Series, coming in these big games, putting up all these runs, playing great baseball, and falling at the last minute. It makes entirely no sense. If the Dodgers lose this series, you guys give up a 3-1 lead. You guys had the opportunity to get a 3-1 lead, and you gave it up. You gave these Rays hope. If the Rays win this series, Dave Roberts, you are gone, and I don't know if you're going to get a managerial job after that. Yeah. And then guys like Kelly Hunter, you are definitely gone, and it's going to be a big shakeup in this Dodgers organization because it makes entirely no sense. It's terrible coaching, terrible job by the players, and everyone should just be embarrassed involved in this loss today.
Well, I agree with you 100%. He hit it right on the head. Some of the things that happened tonight should not have happened tonight from the way Dave Roberts managed the game up until the last play. You cannot have your mask on as a catcher on a play of that magnitude at the end of the game, and you know there's a chance for the ball to come home to you. You just cannot do that.
Right. Let me get in there. Just a couple of things I gotta mention out on the Rays part. They did a terrible job with managing too, because that 4 outfield garbage what they've been doing that's been terrible. the Dodgers been tearing that apart this whole World Series, and they got a couple of easy hits off them tonight, and those turned into runs for the Dodgers, and we've been seeing them tear apart that forward field. Like I was just like, I don't understand. It makes zero sense. And it hasn't worked for them, and they keep going back to it. But what you guys saying with the catcher? With the mask on. It wasn't the mask. I mean, yeah, you could take your mask off, but it doesn't really have an effect on it. These dudes catching balls 100 miles per hour all day with the mask on. They could see the ball. If you look at the throw, the problem was the throw it was a bad throw, and it was off to his right side, and he trying to swing to because he don't know where the runner is, so we trying to hurry up, grab the ball and swing so he could see and tie. He didn't know Rosarina fell down on the ground. If he didn't know that, he probably would have taken his time. But it was just like you guys saying, baseball 101. All right, you don't go willy nilly. End of the game time. The winner run coming around to score, and you on the outfield feeling with one handed, and you bobble the ball, and then like you said with the pitcher, if he was behind the plate, they probably could have get a Rosarina at the plate. Like the pitcher, you definitely got to back up the catcher, and you see it like just basic stuff, throwing the ball to the chest, getting on one knee, grabbing the ball, and not like on the catcher part. Like I understand because like you don't know where the run is, and you want to hurry up tag the turn around the tag. So we see that all the time with guys.
Let me hop in right here real quick.
Tag and what?
Let me hop in here very quick. That point you made with the catcher, right? It's a difference when you're just sitting there with the mask on, catching a fastball or a curveball.
My point exactly.
Having a runner come at you.
It's a difference.
If you don't have that mask on, it doesn't.
It's the difference catching. You see, when you have the mask on, it is for your peripheral. It's shaped just on the picture. You're just shaped on the picture when you have the mask on. When the mask is on, and now you have to worry about the entire field, it blocks your peripheral. So yes, if you had the mask on, all you do an easy turn and look. You see a Rosarina would have fell down, and even the Dodgers infielders, you could have said, "All right, the guy fell down." You got to shout that. You got to shout out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So like, my thing is that with the mask being on, all right, it blocks his peripheral view. So things you could see in the side of your corner, you cannot see with the mask on. And I'm telling you because I caught before. We all caught before. There's a difference catching from the pitcher because your eyes is locked in on the pitcher, and then when you have to play the entire field. I think the mask had a real effect on because if you watch a replay, this guy missed the ball by a mile. His hands was not even close to the ball. He missed the ball by a mile.
He didn't touch the ball. He missed the ball completely.
No, he didn't.
No, he missed the ball by a mile.
He missed the ball completely.
By a mile. It was by a mile.
If he had the mask off, let me show you what would happen. If he had the mask off, even if he didn't catch the ball like he did, even if he missed the ball, he would have still been able to move left to his right, to be able to move over to see that ball. But since he had his mask on, he was only focused right there, and he was not able to see the ball. So the mask had a big impact on what he was doing.
We see guys make plays with the mask on all the time. Like, I don't blame them on the mask. It just was a poorly thrown ball.
Because you made the play with the mask.
I mean, you could say, if he had the mask off, he probably had a better chance to catch well. But I don't think that's it. We see guys make that same mistake, and infielders make that.
Just because you have on the mask doesn't mean it's the right thing. It was not the right thing at the time. Just because he had it on doesn't mean it was the right thing.
These guys are professionals. These guys are professionals. Yes, they're going to make catches with their mask on occasionally, but we all know. Everyone that's played baseball before knows. Once the ball hits in the outfield, you take the mask and you throw the shit away. I don't care where the hell you throw the shit away. Everyone knows that. Like, yes, they can make plays with their mask on, but in a situation like that, if I am in that situation, as soon as that ball hits in the outfield, I am flinging my mask and I'm saying, all right, what the fuck? We need to get somebody out right now. You got to take off that mask and act like you're an infielder at that point. You're not a catcher anymore. You're basically an infielder. You got to take off that mask and say, let me go. But that mask being on, it kind of tells me that he was still in sluggish mode. He was still in the mode that they were probably up about 3-1. He was not thinking, all right, the game is going to be tied. Because trust me, when you're in a pressure situation like that, trust me, anytime the ball hits outfield and it's a 1-run game, any catcher is flinging their mask. They're not picking that up because they know it's a pressure situation. You don't want no room for error. You don't want no room for it. First of all, the mask is uncomfortable. That's number one. And second of all, it blocks your peripheral. So you don't want no room forever. And the fact that he didn't do it, I'm like, what the heck? Like, these guys just being sluggish. I don't know who's in center field.
I mean, I ain't gonna let y'all, like, I don't think that's a mask because we see that infielders make that same mistake plenty of times where you just try to tag before you catch the ball. Like, that's a common mistake. Like, we play baseball our life. Each one of us did that before. And
what
like,
is the effect? Why is it a common mistake though?
What do you mean?
In that situation, we have seen it. We have seen it we've seen it throughout the game, probably around the middle innings. On the last play of the last inning or last play, these guys are batting last. Why the hell is it massive? If this guy score, you lose the game. First of all, if the guy scores, you lose the game. So you need to take your mask off in the first place. On the last play in that situation, you need to take that shit off. Like I'm not saying that's the only reason. But as a guy that's watched baseball, as a guy that's played baseball, as a guy that analyzes baseball, in that situation, that needs to be off because what you need to do in that situation, you need to block all rooms for error. Every room for error you need to block, and the mask is a room for error. That is a room for error, and in that situation, you need to block every room for error. Like that's the end point. We're not saying the mask is the reason why he missed the ball, but we're saying he did not take away that room for error. So now it leaves us thinking maybe if. And in that situation, you cannot leave us as fans. You cannot leave us as analysts thinking maybe if, because you should have done it. That is baseball 101.
Talking from experience too, from my point of view, just a person that happened to multiple times before, the mask does play an effect because as a catcher, if you have the mask on, the mask kind of holds you back in a way, in the sense that, hey, either one is going to block my vision, or two is going to hold me back.
Right? Your senses. Yeah, think about it. Your senses are removed when the mask is on. Like, your sense of distance is removed. You cannot feel a distance of Rosarina is up when your mask is on. You don't feel the distance anymore. When your mask is off, you can kind of feel, all right, the Rosarina is about 30 feet away. He fell down. When your mask is on, you're not feeling it. Everything is just kabungled up in this small area of space. So yes, you kind of lose your senses as well.
What y'all doing? Like, y'all, I don't think it was the mask that caused him to miss the ball. Like, I mean, if he could have still made that same mistake even with the mask off. He
could have, but that was it was a combination of things.
It was one of what caused it, but guys try to tag before they catch the ball all the time. It's a common mistake. So I don't put big stock in him having the mask off. Yeah, you should have taken it off, but I mean, I don't think it was a big deal. That's a pretty common thing.
For me, is he missed the ball. It's not the fact that he tried to tag. It's the fact that he missed the ball. I watched the replay. This guy missed the ball. It's not like the ball came straight to him and he tried to tag. He missed the down ball. Like, you didn't know the ball. Yeah, you missed the ball. Like that's number one. Number one is you got to catch the ball first. You know, you're not gonna make a play if you don't catch the ball. And I don't care how quick your tag is. You're not going to make a play if you do not catch the ball. So you need to figure out number one. And the fact that the mask is on, like I say, we're not saying that's the only reason why they lost the game. But if we're just speaking everything that went wrong in that situation, the mask is one of those things. Kenley Hansen not running behind home plate, that is a reason. That is another situation. That's another combination of things why they lost the game. The guy in center field, it looked like Chris Taylor was in center, but I thought Cody Bellinger was center. But it was Chris Taylor in center. Him bobbling the ball, it was another why. It was another reason why, in addition to the combination of things, what went wrong in that situation. We're not saying it's the only thing. We're saying the combination of things that went wrong.
Yeah. I mean, a Rosarina doesn't even come around third if the guy in center field doesn't bobble the ball. Like, he would have just stayed on third base. So
and it would be a whole different story too. Now it would be a whole different thing if he caught the ball, he just missed the tag.
Yeah,
but he missed the ball and he didn't have a play. So the combination of that, I don't know.
I think we all can agree on this. Dave Roberts leaving Pedro Baez in there for 1.5 innings to give up 4 runs was probably the worst.
Yeah, that was the difference. That was the difference.
Worst series game in a while. The fact that he brought Kenley Hansen on in a 1-run game, a guy that's been struggling for the last two, not just the postseason. We're not even just talking about this season because he's been terrible this season. This guy's been struggling the past 2 seasons. He hasn't had a good season since the Dodgers lost to the Red Sox in the World Series in 2018. This guy's been struggling. When you got Joe Kelly in your dugout throwing 90 miles per hour, when you got Dustin May in your dugout throwing 100 miles per hour, when you got guys like Gustav Goodrow, who could have given you guys another inning, you brought Kenley Hansen on in a one-run game, and this guy blowing the lead. He had 2 runners on base, and you still decide to keep him on the mound. I watch it. Kenny Hansen was missing pitches left, right, and center. To be honest with you, a Rosarina should have hit a home run off this guy 2 straight pitches. Because 2 straight pitches, Will Smith set up outside, and Kenny Hansen threw them straight down the plate. I watch it. He threw it straight down the plate, and Will Smith set up outside. He has been mixing pitches.
But like he was saying, but at that point when you see as a manager, if you see a guy throwing down the middle, missing spots, you gotta call a timeout. You gotta visit the mound. You gotta stop. You gotta calm him down. And even if it was a situation where with the new rules where you can't sub him out until you can face 3 batters or whatever not, he should have still gone out there, call a timeout, get him settled down, and then make the required adjustments from based off that.
Yeah.
So now
this is the epitome of Dodgers baseball. This is the epitome of Dodgers baseball the past 4 years. You get to the big show. You struggle throughout the postseason, first of all, because you guys did go to Game 7 with the Braves, which they shouldn't have won because they're a way better team than the Braves. You struggle throughout the postseason, and you get to the big show and you fumble. This has been the epitome of Dodgers baseball. Like, yes, they still have a chance to win the series because they still got Kershaw. They still got what's the guy, Walker Buehler. Those 2 guys still can pitch to win them 2 more games. But the fact that they could have been up 3-1 instead of 2-2, it changes the dynamic of this whole situation, which they shouldn't have been in. Now Dodgers fans are hurting right now. I'm hurting for the Dodgers right now. This should just be embarrassing. But they got 2 more chances. Dave Roberts, Dodgers players, you better do what you have to do because if you lose to the Rays, everyone in the baseball community is going to write you off until you prove that you can be worth somebody's until you can prove for your work. Like, we're going to write you off. If you lose this World Series, I'm going to write you off.
I'm picking up off Tosh. He's 100% right. But the big story in Game 5 is how if Clayton Kershaw has to pitch Game 5, and this is going to be the biggest start of his career. And now, Clayton Kershaw has not performed well in the postseason. So I wouldn't put too much stock in this. If Clayton Kershaw has a bad game, it's not on Kershaw. It's on Dave Roberts because at this point, as a manager, Clayton Kershaw has not performed well in the postseason, and your mismanagement in Game 4 now pushes him to pitching the biggest game of his career up to this point. And while he is an all-time great, you put pressure on a guy that's known to not be a successful postseason pitcher on Monday night. So I don't know if the Dodgers are going to pull Game 5 out, but he got 3 more chances to win 2 games. This is the best of the 3 series now. I still like the Dodgers bats way more than the Rays bats. So I still give them a fighting chance, but you can't discount the Rays at this point with the bullpen they have.